Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee. This is another mug from Ireland. It's a beautiful, I don't know what it is that attracted me, other than that it does have a different color inside. There are little things. I love the shape. Uh, we went to a car boot sale, and truly, that's where I got my mugs. Except I did get one at a charity shop. The one that I used the first day that I'm now using as a feather holder because it's not the most practical, but I love it. Uh, I didn't buy any souvenir type mugs because that's not really me. But anyway, it is lovely. It fits my hand well. And I just love the softness of the design on it. It's nothing special, just nice. And it's a Denby, which meant nothing to me. But the lady that sold it to me said, it's a Denby. Well, they're made in England. That's what I know about them. So, good morning. How are you? How is life treating you? So many things that we can be reacting to, but the real energy of today is discovering a little bit more about you. I did one. Do you have gifts? Uh, Spiritual gifts. And this one is about the wizard aspect, the alchemist, the magician. And as children we're allowed to play that we're allowed to indulge in the fantasy world, but as we grow, that is drummed out of us. And we also know that children have a connection to that other side until about age 5. They see the fairies more, they see the unicorns. So fast forward to healing I was doing, and I was given years before this a dream telling me that I was white buffalo calf woman. I woke up and went, I don't even know who that is. Looked it up and went, okay, powerful healer. The white buffalo is revered. And so I went, well, okay, if that's one of the energies I bring through, that's great. Not really owning that because it sounded real audacious to me. And then I was doing this healing, and a friend came in of the woman I was working on, and she stood and she watched me finish up. And she said when she was done, now this woman is a Jewish woman, that the friend is Jewish, and the woman came in from the church to bring food because my friend had surgery. And she said, wow, that was really beautiful. Can you tell me about the white buffalo that was with you and the unicorn? And I went, oh, wow. Well, the white buffalo is absolutely a confirmation of some information I was given a few years back, really hadn't fully owned and wasn't really telling anybody about. And the unicorn is a surprise, but my youngest granddaughter and I play with the unicorns a bit. She loves the shows and she loves unicorn things. And so I filed that in the And so eventually I asked the unicorn's name, Henry. And that was kind of funny. But, we as adults tend to not play with the elementals or even believe that there are elementals, fairies, gnomes, unicorns, all these. But many of us still have that desire to be a wizard, an alchemist, a magician, a psychic, a channel, a seer. And you have these desires because you are all of these things. Some of these things are stronger in us, and we have to engage in the possibility of other dimensions. One of the things that was really pounded into me when I went to Ireland, a few different levels of it, was be willing to look into the other dimensions. And recently, after that, someone else mentioned to me that they saw a unicorn around me. And again, I hadn't really worked much with Henry. I tend to be very concrete in many ways and grounded, but that desire to be a wizard, the desire to play with unicorns, to believe in the magic of life is there. We are wizards and alchemists inherently in who we are. On a very concrete level, is we take food in one form and we create it into something else that our body can use, and we leave it in another form. That's alchemy. Taking one thing and changing it into another form. That's just one way we do it. Often we will do it with our emotions. Recently, I had some insights that I was holding on to resentment. And I thought it was interesting at the time because I'm not a real resentful person. I tend to let things go, but also um, that which could cause me resentment, I will also just walk away from. It's like, I don't play there. I'm not doing that anymore. But the truth is, then several months, this was like in January, last month, no, June, that resentment came up in a big way for me to examine. And what I realized is situations throughout my life that had come up that were unpleasant, uncomfortable, other people's energy being implanted on me caused me to go into shifting that energy to make it more comfortable so we could have more fun in whatever aspect that was going on. I had to take that energy and change it. That's wizardry. That's alchemy. That is me standing in the power of the ability I have to shift the energy that I'm bathed in at any given time. We all have that ability. We must choose it in order to make it true. And so, or, do the work we need to do, but we have to choose to believe that we can. So we choose to be a wizard. So the two decks of cards that came up today were the Sacred Forest by Denise Lynn. Certainly nature is an alchemist in that, in just for trees, they take in the carbon dioxide that we breathe off and they give oxygen. They change it into what they can use, and they send oxygen out to us. Plants take sunlight and create the plant that we eat. Without sunlight, they can't create. So all things in nature and in us are using alchemy. So we're being wizards. So it's a way to own the truth of who you are in the everyday. Good morning, Susan. Great morning, Susan. Good morning, Ronnie. It's been a while. So the Sacred Forest card that came up was be a beacon, be an inspiration, light the way for others. It takes some playfulness to own your wizardry, your magicianness, your psychicness. And our information most often comes in our imagination, in our mind, and then we go, I just made that up, because we don't trust that we can get the answers. And the truth is, there's not too many playing grounds for us to receive the information that Creator, the universe, God, the central sun, the great I am, Murgatroyd is sending us. Whatever you call that higher power does not matter. It generally comes in our mind because there aren't lots of ways for, God, Creator, the universe, to communicate. That open, willing, ready, guide me mantra is about you allowing the help of the other realms to come in and give you taps on the shoulders, inklings, understanding. The information you're asking about will come in different ways if we allow it. It'll come on a billboard, in a song from your friend you haven't seen in years. It'll just call up and you were thinking about them, and then they have this thing to say to you. When you're willing to learn and grow, the teacher will come, and often in varied ways. Many times, little children will be bringing those messages. So the Sacred Forest, Daffodil Fairy, new beginnings. We are constantly in a shifting energy. We are constantly moving forward, changing. Our bodies are producing alchemy. They're renewing themselves regularly. And so us choosing as we move forward, how we want to direct these changing energies is powerful. What are you choosing? Are you choosing more downfall as you age? Because we've been told over and over that's what happens, and it's awful, and it's not easy, and it's painful and all of that? Or are you choosing to move forward with more joy, with more excitement, with more positive expectations, with more interest in life. We have a choice. And this month is a month of new beginnings. September, we're letting go of the old as the leaves begin to fall, as we're moving into a new season, and we're bringing in the new. And this month, physiologically throughout the world, there are big shifts that are going to be taking place that are going to cause us to stand in a place of wonderment, and maybe not all that yay energy, more like, wow, this is big, because we are giving birth right now to this new earth, this new way of walking in the world. And in order to do that, old foundations are taken away. So we've got be a beacon and new beginnings. The beaconness means that you're not holding yourself or others in the energy of fear about all of this. And that is a kind of a full-time job right now, is to alchemize the fear energy that will come in many ways, especially across the airwaves, from the news sources, from social media, from people around you who are living in fear. And we must alchemize that to stay out of fear. We keep choosing something different. Part of that ability comes with the trust that better is coming. Then the birth is happening, but like I've said many times, the third stage of the birth process is the most challenging. It is the one that causes every woman to go, whew, I can't do this. This is too much work. We are there, and it's not going to be an easy peasy journey, but we get to alchemize the energy of upheaval within us and keep holding the space for peace, for love, for ease, and sending it out into the world. Again, you do you. When you bring yourself into less strife, less worry, less anxiety, and you raise your vibration, that is what you're sharing in the world. And more of us doing that are triggering others to stand in the light. So, good morning to Debbie, to you. So the next card that come up is Stargate of Lyra. Expand your causal chakra, enter the unicorn kingdom. This is the invitation to imagine a bit, play a bit, be more lighthearted, be what you'd like to be in this world. Start focusing on that as the alchemist, as the magician. I hope that's not, I'm going to silence my phone. I should have done that already. As the magicians and the alchemizers of energy, we want to bring our higher team in regularly and enter the universe, the unicorn kingdom, enter the playfulness, enter the, I guess it's possible. And maybe that's where we all start. Is it possible? It's possible. Have I seen with my eyes a unicorn? No, not unless you're talking about pictures. But am I choosing for the possibility of that magical energy to be around me? I am. Mainly because it feels better. I want to play a little bit more. I am a fairy in many ways, in that I want to be more playful, more lighthearted. And the energies I came in with because of past life stuff and what I wanted to heal this lifetime have been pretty darn heavy. And I've alchemized them throughout my life. And at the quote unquote mercy of first the adults around me, then my life partner, I've had to alchemize a lot of energy. And that is part of the resentment that came up, was having to do that in order to feel some semblance of okay inside myself. So I fully explored that energy. And by the way, the energy was encapsulated like in a metal capsule of slave energy, past life energy and ancestral energy that I brought in this time again in order to release it for them and for me. And so you want to be in that constant state of, it's possible, maybe, we'll see what that looks like, because that is a powerful way to play. Guardians of the land, protection. Owning this, owning the idea that safe is your space, choosing the energy of protection and not allowing all the fear mongering that's coming in. The other thing that it's easy to do is to wish constantly that things were different and fear the possibilities. And especially when you have family that you don't, I don't want my granddaughters to suffer in any way. I don't want my daughters to suffer, my in-law children to suffer. I don't want anyone to suffer. But the truth is, they all came in with a path that is not mine to alter. What happens is in their plan. Recently, man, a lovely new friend of mine was diagnosed with cancer. Then she lost her, I think it was 2 or 3 year old granddaughter. They knew that was coming. And where she's taken that is absolutely beautiful. And sorry, I got a text that caused me to go. Where she's taken this loss of this beautiful granddaughter is so amazing. It would take a lot for me to get there, but she understood that this beautiful little spirit had a different path this time. Then she lost her mother right after her granddaughter. She is dealing with so much, but she's taking it to a place of empowerment and growth and moving forward in greater light. Another incredible friend diagnosed with stage 4 cancer is doing all the traditional and the learning aspect of it, knowing she's going to come out without it and be more powerful, stronger, more insightful. And she's sharing her journey for others to see the power in that, the choice of learning from it rather than being under these circumstances and fear and anxiety and all that, which is only going to fuel. She's also taking it to the nutritional, so the natural level, along with traditional medicine in, having the chemotherapy. And she goes in and blesses the chemotherapy before it comes in. She does a little ritual. That's power. That's choosing what's going into her body so that her other cells are more protected, and she's doing very well. So protection is a choice you can make. It is a way, again, to walk in your power and look at the different dimensions as okay, well, maybe what does that look like? I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready. Guide me, and be that chooser of what comes in and how you alchemize that for yourself. If you continually focus on the negative aspect and what is happening, the negative possibilities, you're going to be bringing more of that into the world. And you're certainly going to have a hard time getting out of it because you keep attracting to you that which you focus on energetically. So, protection, guardians, unicorns, fairies, all of the possibilities. When you engage that it is possible, you open yourself up to more of your possibilities in your power, in your gifts. Are you a seer? More of my seeing gifts have opened up since my trip to Ireland when I did a lot of soul fragment retrieval. Light workers have lost lots of soul fragments through the centuries and lifetimes because of the persecution. And so, if you are open, willing, and ready to be guided, the possibilities of where you want to go, you don't have to go just in person, but it's a powerful thing. There could be in your neighborhood that you chose to live in spots where you lost soul fragments in a past lifetime. Look at that. What is possible? Always, what is possible is entertaining the possibility of wizards, magicians, dragons, unicorns, fairies, gnomes, all of that. Tree spirits. Trees have a consciousness, but that is a dimension that is different from our own. And so start talking to trees. Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning, Julia and Debbie. I think I said good morning to Debbie. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope this has given you some ideas of how to expand your possibilities into a more fullness of who you are and the magic that resides in you. The more you go forward with, well, it's possible. I'm open to seeing what that looks like for me. The more, oh, are my eyes greener since returning from Ireland? Well, it could be the green shirt. I also got in Ireland at a charity shop. Had some fun. I mean, this is how I live here. I love thrift stores, junks, thrift store junkie, charity shop junkie. Uh, the car boot sale was quite fun. And again, got to be out and meet people in the everyday and just loveliness, because that's what I was looking for. I could have attracted jerks, but I wasn't looking for them. I mean, that's the truth. We can attract more heaviness. We can attract angry people if that's what we're focusing on. And the news cycles, the social media posts, somebody posted this possibility that the government's going to be putting the National Guard in, well, in Idaho. It's like, seriously, if there isn't, quote unquote, an issue with falling in line with, the red side, it's Idaho. And so these things that are going out, yes, he put them in Washington, D.C. for whatever reason he had. And they were brought out in LA when the riots were happening. Are they going other places, like somewhere that doesn't have all the issues? Probably not. But people are going to fear monger us into believing that they are. Disengage from that. Engage more in your own beautiful energy. My lovely dog Jack came in because he loves to be with me during these readings, and he is absolutely a healing dog. So, and I would love your healing intentions for Jack. He's got a torn right shoulder, so he hasn't been able to swim or play frisbee in well over a month, and he won't get to again until the end of September. We did go to a place where he could wade yesterday, and he got in there, clear up to his belly, and then sat down. And he's never done that before. Usually it's throwing sticks in the water and he's swimming after them, but he can't do that now. So I appreciate your healing energy towards him so it happens quickly. He's so cute. He paws me when I get done petting because he doesn't want me to stop. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again. Weird.